Okay, so it is 6:01. I'm going to get started because I want to be mindful of everyone's time. And thank you so much for being here tonight. It looks like we have about 7 attendees with us this evening. Thank you so much for making it. We're really excited to talk to you all. My name is Sarah Baldwin. I am the recruitment specialist for the Hospitality Management Center. So I always tell everybody I'm the get you in the door lady. If you have questions about enrollment or you need assistance with enrollment or that process, I'm your person, okay? Tonight with us, we have Dean Karen Manath, who is leading our faculty, and she'll be talking to you tonight about our programs and all the different things that we have to offer at the Hospitality Management Center and the kinds of careers that you can have in the hospitality industry. As well, we have Chef Thomas Capretta with us. He is one of our chef instructors. He is going to talk all about the culinary industry and all the different jobs and great careers you can have there. And with us in the attendee group, we have Miss Kim Sussbauer. She is an instructor with us who works on the hotel side of things. So if you're interested more in hotel event planning, Miss Sussbauer can give you guys some insight into that industry and what is all entailed there. So I'm going to turn over the mic just momentarily. Dean Manath, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit and tell us just a little bit about your background and how you got to Tri-C? You're muted.
Some people think that's a good idea when I'm muted. Anyways, I'm Karen Manath. I'm the Associate Dean of Hospitality. Prior to becoming the Associate Dean, I was one of the chef instructors here. I have a background in culinary and management, graduate of the CIA, master's from Florida International University in hospitality management, and have worked in restaurants, clubs, hotels, and just prior to taught at Penn State University for 6 years, and just prior to coming to Tri-C, I owned my own very large banquet and catering facility. And now I'm here.
Chef Tom?
Hi, everybody. So I'm here at the college solid 23 years. I start my 24th year at the college this year in the fall semester. Before coming to the college, I was 7.5 years at Canterbury Country Club. I was at the Racket Club down the street. I was in food sales for a while. I worked with the Stouffer's Restaurant Corporation. My education background is with University of Akron. I have an associate degree in culinary arts, a bachelor's degree in education, a master's degree in instructional design. I have been in the food area somehow since I've been a young person in the teens. So that's decades and decades and decades, as the kitchen the door lady likes to put it. So I've been around a while, enjoyed doing the cooking in the kitchen and the teaching in the classroom.
Sarah, you're muted.
Thank you. And Miss Sussbauer, I'm going to unmute you so you can tell everybody about yourself.
Good evening, Kim Sussbauer. I've been with the college for 22 years. I've been in the industry for, as Chef Capretta said, decades and decades and decades. And the bulk of my experience is in management in a lot of different areas in hotels. And as far as teaching goes, I teach all of the, well, not all of the majority of the front office, housekeeping, hotel-related classes, as well as sanitation and safety, which is my favorite class to teach, and the bane of all students' existence.
Very well put. Okay, great. Well, just wanted to give everyone an idea of who you were talking to. So this is really great. You guys are connecting with our tonight. So what's going to happen next is we're going to have sort of a discussion. We're going to do like a panel, all right? So I'm going to ask Dean Manath, Chef Capretta, and Ms. Sussbauer questions about our programs, the industry, and they're going to give their input and insight. If you have questions while we're having this conversation, feel free to put them in the chat box. That's going to be in the lower right-hand side of your screen, okay? So feel free to put any questions in the chat. We're going to talk for about half an hour, 40 minutes, thereabouts, and then we're going to wrap up with any of your questions, as well as just a brief rundown of if you're interested in getting enrolled and you haven't started that process, how you would do that. So just so everybody knows what's going on. All right, very good. So I'm going to get started here with my questions. So let's go. So to begin, what is the hospitality industry? What all does it encompass? So that's a very broad question, I know. And I'm going to mute myself and I'm going to let our panel speak.
Well, I think I can say that it's a very large umbrella, the hospitality industry. You know that we have 3 concentrations: culinary arts, restaurant and food service management, and hotel, destination, and event management. Even under those 3 broad headings, there are many, many different careers that you can be in. I'll ask Chef Capretta to talk about culinary careers. Ms. Sussbauer, if you'll talk about hotel, and I'll just give you some brief insight into restaurant and food service management. When we talk about restaurant and food service management, obviously we're talking about restaurants. Those can be restaurants, freestanding, fast food, chain restaurants, and also food service management. And food service management is really a huge piece of our industry that I don't think a lot of people pay attention to, but it's hospitals, colleges and universities, schools and daycares, senior citizen facilities, nursing homes. All of those require food, and so there's lots of opportunity in management for those, as well as culinary arts, which Chef will talk to you about. Restaurants includes beverage management, so you're looking at bar management. If you're in restaurants, know that, you know, they make most of their money from liquor sales. So a restaurant without a bar has a much tougher time, unless they're fast food. So yeah, clubs, nightclubs, it all falls under that umbrella of restaurant and food service management. Chef.
So when you're looking at the kitchen end of it, you're looking at from, you know, the small corner pub having a kitchen going, serving casual food to fine food. You're talking from the hospitals having dining service to the healthcare, the assisted living or the elder care, having fine dining nowadays. It's really a great field, a growing field that they're looking for better dining. It's not just, you know, dietary requirements anymore. They're looking for finer dining. So you're looking at chefs that really have some excellent background cooking there nowadays. You know, you have the country clubs still, you have great restaurants still, you have fast food as Dean Manath said, you have the casual dine. So you have a variety of places to go to. You have the hotels still, and even in the hotels, you're still looking at dining within the hotels varying from casual dine to fine dine. And you have a variety within there. You have the resorts that have that. You know, so you have plenty of different places. You have destination that have dining. So you have just about any place that you'd want to go, any kind of dining that you'd want to do. It's just that you really need to look for what your area that you want to try and go into and find the area that you'd like to attempt to work in, and then work towards that. And that's hopefully what we can help you find. Miss Sussbauer?
So as far as lodging goes, hotels, destinations, and meeting planning, just to echo what Dean Manath and Chef Capretta have said, there's something at all different levels, anything from a roadside motel to running an Airbnb out of your own home, mega resorts, the mega hotels that you find like in Las Vegas, to just regular hotels like we would have here in Cleveland, and everything in between that you can think of. And there are going to be positions in all different types of areas, from front office. Every hotel has to have a housekeeping department. There's maintenance and upkeep of the property. If it's a property that has food and beverage, then you're talking about the positions that Chef Tom and Dean Manath just spoke about. So really anything that you are thinking about when you go traveling, you have someplace to stay, someplace to eat, and you have the people that make all of that happen.
Hey, very good. So I'm going to go with our next question. Explain the degrees and certificates that you can receive through the Hospitality Management Center at Tri-C. So if you guys just want to briefly discuss the different degrees that we offer as well as certificates.
Sure. As I said, we have 3 concentrations. You can be major in culinary arts, restaurant and food service management, or hotel destination event management. A good place to start in any one of those is with one of our certificates. And we have in culinary arts, there's a short-term certificate that's 1 semester plus 1 class in the next semester. And then we have certificates of proficiency that are 1 year. And there's a certificate of proficiency in being a culinarian, in personal chef, and in baking. Any of those certificates, if you start with a certificate, all the classes that you take with a certificate, whether it's a certificate in culinary arts, restaurant, or lodging, all of those classes are applicable to the associate degree. So even if you come in for the associate degree and you start your associate degree, within 1 year, you will have earned that certificate of proficiency in one of those areas, or you could have. In lodging, there's a certificate in lodging rooms division, which again leads right into the associate degree in hotel destination event management. There's also a certificate of proficiency in event planning. That's a huge category. I know a lot of people are very interested in doing that. It's can be a lot of fun. And then in restaurant and food service management, we have a full-blown associate's degree and a certificate that leads into that, a certificate of proficiency in food and beverage. I think that I've covered all of them. Did I miss any?
I think you got them all. I'd also like to add that the first 4 classes that you take with us apply to any of the degrees or certificates. So if you're unsure about which area might be the right area for you, taking our Intro to Hospitality really gives you an exposure to all the different areas. And then you've got sanitation and safety, which is required no matter which certificate you go into or which degree, as well as customer service and our introduction to cooking class.
We also have just recently put together an evening and weekend program for the certificate of proficiency in culinary, personal chef, or baking. So you can, and event planning too, we did. So you can get any one of those certificates doing only evening and weekends. but that's a very specific schedule. So if you go that route on our website, you'll see that we've outlined what your schedule will be. So it's very simple. If you start this fall, take this, this, and this, and this is the time it's offered. These are the days it's offered. So we've outlined that very clearly. So there, you don't get messed up with getting off sequence and off track. That's something too I want to throw in here if I can, Sarah. We have on our website, if you go to classes and programs, scroll down to hospitality, click on that, and then on the left side of the page, you'll see the gray buttons that have all of the things we offer. And if you go to any one of those degree programs or certificates, you'll see that there's something called a suggested sequence. The suggested sequence has been put together by the faculty because if you take these classes in this exact order, then you can finish in 2 years. If you don't, and you get out of a sequence, then it may take you longer to take them because of the prerequisites that are required, so that each semester builds one on another. So if you start in the first semester, know that some of these classes are going to be prerequisites to classes that you want to take in the second semester. So if you stick to that semester sequence, you can't really go wrong. Oftentimes I have students come in and they're like, Jeff, Dean, I should be graduating this spring. Well, you missed this, and you have to take this before you can take that. And so it'll mess you up. You don't want to do that. We have the benefit of having our faculty assigned to you as mentors. So when you come into the program, into the hospitality program, you will be assigned a faculty mentor. In Hospitality 1010 Intro to Hospitality, you're required to go meet with that faculty mentor at least once. That's your person in the hospitality department who will help you with a whole bunch of decisions. They'll help you decide what's the next thing in your sequence. They'll help you decide whether that's a good place for you to do your field experience. They'll help you sort out like really what it is you think you want to do and what steps you should take along the way to do that. So I highly encourage you to do that. But don't forget, look up the suggested sequence. It's very important.
Absolutely. Those are excellent points. It's good for everyone to know going in, for sure. Okay. So my next question is, and this comes up a lot for me, what is the difference between the restaurant food service management degree and the culinary arts degree? What about the hotel destination and event management degree? So I guess what students ask, what is the main differences among all those degree pathways? Can I do more than one? And how would a student do more than one?
So, yeah, the difference mainly between culinary and restaurant management on my side is that culinary, you do more kitchen classes. Restaurant management is more management oriented and business oriented. So you do more theory learning in restaurant management. In culinary, you do more on-hands kitchen classes. So there's your biggest difference. And you can do both. We normally recommend, if you want to do both, to pick up the restaurant management and then move into culinary because it's an easier flow for you to do that. I'll let Miss Sussbar talk about the difference between destination and the other two. There is a difference there, and I think she knows the flow better between those. And as the gentlemen that have always talked to me as mentors in education, you can get as much education as you want and can afford to pay for. So.
Right. So with the hotel destination and event planning degree, the main difference is going to be that you only have to take one cooking class as opposed to the other classes. The let's see. Oh, someone's asking which one can you get a job with as a chef once you finish the classes. You can get a job as a chef from the culinary degree. That's where you would want to go if you were interested in being a chef. As far as the destination degree, aside from only having one cooking class, the focus there is largely on hotels and event planning, also tourism. So learning about why people travel, where they travel, how you run a hotel, how you take care of a hotel, how you plan events, how you would actually run an event, how you would know if your event was successful. Those are all things that we would cover in my degree area.
Thank you, Ms. Sussbauer. Okay, so as far as, okay, where do classes take place right now for like this upcoming fall? How much of my coursework is going to be online versus in person?
So we teach classes at the Hospitality Management Center, the Eastern Campus. In the fall, we teach a couple of classes at the Western Campus. The majority of the classes take place at the Hospitality Management Center in Public Square. The percentage of face-to-face classes versus online classes, I think we're at like about 70% face-to-face, and the rest of the face-to-face or hybrid, and then about 30% online. And online can be completely online or online synchronous. So when you're looking at making your schedule, there's a couple of things that you want to take note of. There are modality designations. The modality means how it's delivered. So it'll say DWB, and that is fully online. That means you don't have any face-to-face with the professor. It's just fully online. So you're logging into a Blackboard site and going from there. There is DWS, which is online synchronous, which means it's online and you have a set day and a set time that you're going to be doing this, just like this, face to face on the computer, as opposed to the other, another modality we have. It says MEET, MEET, which is mean you're face to face in a classroom or in a kitchen. And then there's one that says DWH. If you forget these things, email me. I'll be happy to tell you what they are. Don't go, oh my God, just email me. It's easy. I know this stuff, it goes on in my head in my sleep. Not a fun place to be. But anyways, DWH is hybrid classes, which means that some of them are full, some of your classes in that course, maybe 1 week you're online and the next week you're in a classroom with your professor and half of your class or all of your class, or you're online and then the next week you're going on a field trip someplace. So it's a combination of both online and typically face-to-face. So that's how they're delivered and where they're delivered. Did I cover everything, Sarah?
Yes, we just had a question in the chat about someone who is a College Credit Plus student and they want to know when they would take the courses and if they can select when and that sort of thing. So I was just responding, but I would just say, as a CCP student, you would take the courses the same time that they are offered to traditional college students, and you would work it in with your high school schedule. I did CCP myself way back when it was called post-secondary options. So I'm a little bit older than you. So I had a CCP right when it was brand new. And that's what I did. I took college classes. For me, the way my schedule was set up, I did half a day at my high school and half a day at the local Kent State College campus. Your situation may be slightly different, where you come for a class and then, maybe in the morning you take your English class at the high school, you would take a hospitality class with us, and then you might wrap up with courses in the afternoon. It can vary, but that's something that you work out with your guidance counselor as well as the CCP coordinator. But you can definitely do that. We have had students in the past do that too. All right. So what kind of internships and field experience do the students typically do?
So those are going to depend on what your career goals are. We always recommend that if you want to work in a hotel, that you do your internship or your field experience in a hotel. It doesn't really help you any or benefit you in any way to do an internship as, let's say, a sales associate at a retail store if that's not what you're interested in doing for your career. In fact, we won't approve that as a site because it's not going to help you at all. So obviously, if you're interested in something in the culinary area, you would go into restaurants. And again, depending on what your career goals were or are, that would determine where you would want to go get your field experience. We've had students who wanted to progress in the Chipotle organization. And so they did their internships with Chipotle and became regional managers in a very short amount of time. If you're interested in event planning, then you would want to find a situation where you could be an event planning assistant. I mean, it really, as I said, it depends on what your career goals are as far as where you would want to do that. But basically, the sky's the limit as far as where you can do that. And even you can go out of state if you want to. Disney has a college program that we've had students go through. There are other programs like that at Myrtle Beach. So it really just depends on your interests and where you want to be.
And I just want to add that our field experiences, you are working for someone, everyone gets paid, it's not free. And yeah, we've had students, as Ms. Sussbauer said, go to Disney, and you know, that's a great place to do an internship or field experience. So
Wonderful. Okay. So what is the current state of the industry in your opinion? Do you feel that it's a stable industry? Where do you see the hospitality industry going in the future?
oh, I see Chef Thomas smiling, I'm smiling. It's crazy right now because we have people every day emailing or calling us looking for students to go to work for them. And in fact, and it's never, I've been in this industry many decades, something like that. And never have I ever seen some place or offer a sign-on bonus if you can go in as a sous chef or something. It's pretty ridiculous. But and the other thing that's happening is that the hourly wage is going up. I think that employers learned something when people didn't want to go back to work, and that was that they needed to cough up some more cash and pay some more money. Two things. Number one, people will always need to eat. And when they polled people and asked them during the pandemic, what did they miss the most about the pandemic and everything being shut down? The first thing they said was gathering with friends and family. And the second thing they said was going out to eat. So that should tell you where we are with that. The second thing is people are always going to travel, which means that they need some place to stay. So I don't see the lodging and hotel industry leaving anywhere anytime soon. And events, I mean, events are events. You know from your own lives how many times people are planning events someplace, whether it's in somebody's backyard or it's some big corporate event. So I think that the industry right now opening up has never been in a better position for employees. Chef Tom?
Yeah, I totally agree. I was lucky enough to receive an article yesterday about a group of people that got together, and I know that we're in a slow movement right now because of how things are going. but you know, as you said, the destinations and hotels and events are going to be there. People are always going to eat. So it's just the movement of things, how fast things are going to get going. So if you want to be out there and work, there's going to be jobs. People are going to start to pay still. So it depends on like where you want to go. The job's going to be there. I was someplace, you know, they're running a place that used to run with 6 cooks is now running with 3 cooks. They're still doing a great job. That place used to do 250 people for Saturday night. Now they're doing only 150 people. They're going to ramp back up to do that 250. So they're still going to need to get back to that 6 cooks. So, you know, eventually they're going to need to have that 4th, that 5th, and that 6th cook. So they're going to be looking for those people. They're going to pay the money for them. You know, that's the thing. You know, we're, as the article said, you know, how fast they're going to be able to get to that. Maybe a year, maybe 2. We're going to eventually get back to where things were with the workforce. It's that in that process, money is going to be different. So the signing bonuses, it was unbelievable to see people offering $2,000 signing bonuses for cooks. You know, and there's always going to be that need for, you know, people, event planners, the hotels and things, because there's going to be weddings going on. There's going to be travel going on. So that end of it's going to be there. So it's our industry is going to be there. It's how fast it's going to bounce back from the last, you know, year and a half. So it's how fast that we can supply the chain. And I think that's our thing. How fast are there going to be people that want to go back to work?
Yeah, I don't think that it's about how fast people are going to want to go out. It's about how fast companies and restaurants can get enough employees to be back up to their 225 covers on a Saturday night. Because I have heard from several places that they're only doing half the volume that they used to do because they don't have enough people to handle all the volume that they could be doing. So, you know, it is definitely an employee's market out there for sure. I'm glad I'm not a business owner right now. I'm just saying.
Absolutely. I know, just to reiterate that, just because my contact information is all over our website, I too get so many people just constantly, do you have anyone? Do you have anyone? And they're paying rates that I've never seen thus far in this position. So it's a really, really good time to be getting into this field. Especially too, if you're thinking about, you want to go in an entrepreneurial route. If you want to, you know, have something of your own, you know, you can do that too. We've talked a lot for others, but you know, there's definitely opportunities to have your own businesses and work for yourself. So let me see. All right. Speaking of which, let me ask our panelists, what traits or attributes are good for someone who goes in this industry to possess? So is this something where you naturally have to be good at certain things to be successful, or can certain traits be cultivated? In your opinion, like for example, if somebody, you know, burns water, but they really want to learn how to cook, should they try and do this? Or is it somebody who, you know, you kind of got to have a good hand to cook to begin with? Or maybe you want to do event planning and you know, you like the idea of it, but you aren't sure if it's for you or if you have the right character, you know, for it. So in your, you know, you've dealt with so many students over time. What are traits that you see people being successful with? What are things that kind of guarantee someone to succeed?
So the first characteristic that comes to my mind is you cannot sweat the small stuff, and it's all small stuff. And I had a bride say to me, well, why isn't my wedding going to go this minute to minute to minute schedule that she gave me? I said, because it's not. She goes, well, how do you know that? I said, well, because I know that there are going to be things that will happen that you haven't thought of. And she goes, well, didn't you think of it? I said, no, I can't think of all those variables. Like something will happen. I said, like, for instance, you know, one of your bridesmaids can be getting out of a limousine and the heel breaks off her shoe. No one foresaw that coming. No one could foresee that coming. You've got to roll with the punches and don't sweat it. That bride was so uptight. Her mother was like, oh my God, don't tell her it's not going to go like that, you know. And the day of the wedding, I said to the mother, hey, what are you drinking? Because the bride had a beer and wine bar, and she said, oh, I drink the hard stuff. And I go, yeah, it's all right. So I got her a coffee cup, and we told everyone it was her tea, because she didn't have to sweat her daughter. But what happened was, it was time for her ceremony, and the DJ wasn't there. She's like, where's my DJ? I said, I don't know. You didn't give me his contact information. I don't know who he is or how to get a hold of him, but he'll be here. Don't worry. And it was one of those things that from the very get-go, it threw her whole time schedule off. Like I told her it wasn't going to go like that, and that was fine. They had a great night. I said, listen, it will not be perfect, but it will be perfectly beautiful. So just trust that. And she did. And so you have to be calm, cool, and collected in the face of insanity, really, because depending on where you are, it can get real insane. Like I know, you know, when I have my business, you know, on a Saturday night, I walk through the rooms and everything will be set and it will be so quiet and so calm. And, you know, in 30 minutes, I knew that 850 people were going to be pouring through the doors and going into those rooms for weddings. And I would have 4 or 5 bars that I was checking on to make sure people weren't getting too drunk. And I had to cut off shots in that room because those guys were getting a little too drunk. I didn't want any fights, you know. So things like that, you just have to be able to be calm, cool, collected, and go with the flow, but have enough knowledge about what you're doing that you can do that. So yeah, that's my best advice.
And my best advice would be that you actually have the spirit of hospitality. And that's something that we talk about a lot in our program. The spirit to serve other people, to want to make people have the most beautiful night of their lives, even if it's not perfect, to make it so that they are eating the best meal that they've had since they came to Cleveland. So having that desire to excel, to really put a smile on people's faces, to make it a unique experience, make it something memorable for them. If you don't care about those things, then this definitely is not the industry for you.
Go ahead, Chef Tom, we're waiting.
Yeah, what do you have to add?
I think everything was said really pretty well there. I mean, that's the thing. It's work hard, you know, and put out the best product every time and make it the best experience for people. You know, it's a tough industry, and you know what? It's making everybody feel special every day and every moment. And it's, you know, it's you know, and as Miss Suspar said, you know, the hospitality spirit there, or you know, it's just being friendly, you know, and it's making people feel good, you know. So it's a different thing, and that's the thing. When we cook, we put the best thing out every time, and it's knowing you put the best thing out every time. So, you know, but taking care of, you know, from the end of from the side of it is putting out the best meal. You know, you're always going to work hard. It's a hard day. At the end of every day, you've worked, and when you sit down, your body just is, you feel it's exhaustion, and you know that feeling, and it's a good feeling. So
It's a very good feeling because, I mean, I know for myself, like from the time I was young, I just wanted to be a chef. I just wanted to be a chef. That's all I wanted to do was be a chef, because I realized at a relatively young age that something that I created with my own hands, like really made people happy, and they were just really excited about it and happy with it. And so I had the ability to really influence someone's day like that. And so, you know, when Ms. Husbauer talks about the hospitality spirit, it's that. It's just wanting to do the very best you can do to make somebody else have a really good time. Because we work while other people play, and that's another like reality of our industry that you need to embrace. I always embraced it because I always felt like I was part of the play, even though I wasn't, you know, slamming down drinks with somebody or eating their meal with them. There was still this interaction in them being able to play. So yeah, the desire to just help people have a really good time and bring a smile to someone's face. It might be the only smile that comes to their face all day. So that's pretty huge.
Absolutely. All right, I'm going to ask one more question, and then I'm going to open it up to our attendees to ask questions. Our graduates, where are the places that they work? Where are they employed? Any notable grads who've started businesses that, you know, maybe some of our attendees have heard of or whatever? And then, like I said, we'll open it up to our audience.
I mean, we have graduates that are all over the place. You know, Matt Fish was part of this program. He has Melt Bar and Grill. Uh, we have a student who has his own catering business. It's huge. He started what, like 4 or 5 years ago, Check. He's doing amazing things. They do the dugouts for the Indians games. Tom, Kim, jump right in because you guys know them too.
I mean, we've got students, like Dean Manath said, we have students pretty much everywhere. My friends laugh at me when we go out to dinner and I say, oh, is so-and-so working tonight? Because inevitably there's someone at almost every single restaurant or every single hotel that we know. You know, and even in places that you wouldn't think of. So the Federal Reserve Bank, we've got students who have done internships there and are event planners with them. They have culinary teams as well. So it's even things that you wouldn't necessarily think of as a hospitality industry, but they're still employing our students in a hospitality capacity.
The casino, right?
Oh, yeah.
Chef Tom, you're muted.
Thanks. The Cleveland Clinic, UH, you know. I went to Hoosier. My mom walked in for an appointment. I went down to say hello to one of our students down in the cafeteria. You know, it's like, you know, you just go and say hi to different students at different places. I did. I walked into one of the places and we're out to dinner. I said, hey, would so-and-so happen to be working? And they go, yeah. I go, would you, you know, hand him this and say if he gets a chance when he come out. The next thing I know, like he's standing next to the table. I go, hey, aren't you cooking right now? Oh, that's okay. It can wait. I go, you got a full dining room.
Get
So,
back in
you
that
know,
kitchen.
yeah. It's like, you know, so yeah, it's like every place there's somebody, you know, and it's, you know, it's nice, you know, I think right now I wrote down like one of the things I forgot to talk about with students that might have a small business or those of them that are with us or starting that want to have like a home-based business. This summer, there were 3 students that I had that have small home-based businesses that are starting with us. So it was interesting to talk with them and, you know, good luck. You know, they seem like they're really going to have some success and that's what they came to us for, to build their business. So, you know, hopefully, you know, in another 4 or 5 years, we'll be talking about them. Hey, here you go. Here's Janae and here's Oh, that's good. Caroline, these are two ladies that really have some businesses going, doing some stuff at the farmers markets this summer, and hopefully those farmers markets will take them to where they want to go in the next couple of years. So yeah, so you never know. Those two ladies might be somewhere in a couple more years that, hey, you might be buying their products. So,
Yeah. We have students that teach, and another student that comes to my former student, has, her business is catering to daycares. That's all she does is cater daycares, which is a very lucrative business. She does very well, but they're everywhere.
And I also want to point out something that our instructors have told me, as well as that I've noticed. Our graduates are working right alongside the graduates of other institutions. And that's something I'm, kind of going to segue into here momentarily after we get through any questions that our audience has, is that, people say, why Tri-C? Why should I come to Tri-C? Well, you're going to get an outstanding hospitality education, whichever track you decide to take. You're going to get an outstanding education. You're going to be taught by faculty who truly do have decades and decades of experience in the field, and they can help guide you. Everybody, we talked about faculty mentors a little bit ago, and that is so vital. Something students often say is that they're afraid of trying to figure it all out on their own, and with our programs, you will not have to do that. You will have somebody that is there for you. So, and the person who, let's say, maybe they just bought a food truck and they want to get that going with their dad who just retired, is going to be, have a different, maybe do a different field experience or do some things differently than the student who wants to go into fine dining. And that's where your faculty mentor can help guide you to the experiences that are going to help lead you to coming out with, a really, really quality education that you can take with you out and to do whatever it is that you want. But our grads are working right alongside in the kitchens here in Cleveland of the nicest, fanciest restaurants, the best event planning companies. They're all working alongside the graduates of CIA, Johnson and Wales, Sullivan, and these other schools. And I will never knock another institution, but I will tell you, our students are working right there beside them, getting paid the same rate that they are. And what's a big difference, everybody? Our students are likely not going to have any debt. If they have any, it will be minuscule in comparison to those who attend these other institutions. We have the lowest tuition in the whole state for college. But when you compare us to these other schools, it's just a no-brainer on cost. This is the difference between, maybe you're going to school for there's different people here in our audience. Some of them are, right out of high school. Others are looking to change their career, but you're not going to rack up debt in our program. You can come out at, 20, 21 years old, no debt, and any money you make straight into your pocket. It's the difference between, quite frankly, driving a beater and driving a newer car for, the next 20 years. Possibly with home ownership and those things. I'm not saying that to be scary or anything, just I'm 37. I've lived the reality of paying off student loans, okay? And I didn't have that much compared to a lot of people. And if you can avoid them and you can get a quality education, we're an accredited institution. Our culinary program is accredited by the American Culinary Federation, which is the absolute gold standard. A lot of these other schools are not accredited by the ACF. And that's something else. A lot of people, want to know different benefits. Part of being a culinary student, they get an ACF membership as part of being a student. Is that correct? Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. So the American Culinary Federation, our Cleveland Akron chapter is amazing. You get to participate and go to those meetings. And that can really, really help you when it comes time to look for jobs and get connected with some really quality internships. I mean, our program truly is, I don't know. I think that it's a no. If I were going to culinary school, if I were going into the hospitality field, it would be a no-brainer for me, just for all those reasons and more. And I do want to add our facility downtown, our Hospitality Management Center, if anyone would like a tour, I'm starting next week to schedule tours. If anyone would like to check out the facility, I'm more than happy to show you around. Yes, we have parking. That is something everybody always worries about, is the parking. We have parking, and no, you do not have to pay. I will make sure that if you come for a visit, you get a parking pass and you have adequate parking, but I'd love to show you around. So I'm going to stop talking for a minute, and I'm going to look in the chat and see if we have any questions. If anyone has any additional questions, I will try and look at our attendees and unmute anyone. I think you can raise your hand if you have questions. Okay, very good. I'm going to put, well, I believe you have one of our attendees said she would like to check it out. I said, great. You have my email. So, and I know I'll write down your name. I will respond to you and we'll get it set up for next week for a tour. And I know there's a couple other people that wanted tours. Okay, what else? All right. Okay. Someone wants to know, how did we get on WKYC, or how do we get on the news when we do our presentations and do cooking demonstrations and all that?
Well, we have our integrated communications department who works with all of the media outlets in town, and usually they call me up and say, hey, so and so needs such and such. Are you willing to go do their morning show or whatever? Or who do you have that could do this type of thing on a show? They're looking for, this kind of program. And so that's how we get on there. I see it says, do I know Holly Strano? And the answer is no. I have met her a couple of times that I've been on the program, but that's it. I probably know the people at Fox 8 way better because I spent a lot more time doing their recipe box on Fox 8 than I have over at WKYC. So it just depends on what they're looking for. And yeah, that's how that happens.
Yeah, so that's a perk to being a chef. You get to be, locally famous. It's quite nice. So
it's a perk or it's a curse, one or the other. Yeah.
All right. Do we have any other
Those are
questions?
better.
What,
Let me
Chef?
look.
The late shows are better. Those 6 a.m.s in the morning are not that great. Kenny at 5:30 in the morning. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, if no one has any questions, I'm going to briefly share my screen. Okay, it says they would like to know more about the ACF meetings. Chef Tom, you want to talk about that for a minute?
So the ACF is the American Culinary Federation. So we just had a meeting 10 days ago. This past Monday, a week ago, down in Akron at the Lock 15, I believe it is. It's a one of the locks down along the old the Erie Lock system. It's a brewery. It was really pretty nice. It was put on by Zinc, who is an equipment company. And then Vitamix put on a little demo too. And he made a nice little drink for us all. It was really pretty nice. So it was our actual first meeting in 14 months. So it was really nice. It was a nice little get together. The chef there at the Lock put a nice little spread together to show his talents. Zinc put together some nice demo of a couple pieces of equipment. And then the Vitamix put a nice demo on for their, it was a cashew and berry drink and I know it had spinach in it, I believe. So it was very good, very different. A couple of people were like, ooh, but it was really cool. And it had dates in it. That's what, like, oh, dates? Yeah, it was great. it was really nice to have a get together to see people, bring us together. A lot of those are educational meetings. It's always an educational part, a get together. Our next one is actually, because it's been a while, it's a picnic. We normally have a picnic in August. So our picnic is actually an educational. Hormel is actually putting it on. So that is really pretty good. Hormel, and I'm looking at the other folks because it's another pork group. The two of them are combining together to put it together for us. So they wanted to get together because it's been so long. So the two of them are putting on the barbecue for us. So that's really nice. So so instead of it just being a fun picnic, it's becoming an educational get together. But those are usually put on once a month, a Monday, educational type situations. The next one after that is going to be at the Union Club. And that is focused chefs becoming managers. And that is with the certified master chef. Why am I forgetting his name?
Lawrence McFadden.
Thank you, Lawrence McFadden. Chef McFadden is doing that one, and he's pulling in a couple other chefs to be the panelists for that. So that's going to be a nice little one. As soon as I get the solid date on that one, there's pretty much a date on that one, but it's a dress code for that because it's at Union Club. Those are the type of things. We try and always make sure we invite the students to those at no cost because it's a great educational opportunity for you as the student to go to. And then once you get through the program, your $29.92, I believe, is your test for your culinary class, and you become a student member, I believe, for another year and a half after that, so that you can still keep on coming to the meetings as a student member. So it's a great opportunity to come on and do that. So yeah, there's a couple dates I have to get together with John, the president, the actually current vice president, and get some stuff put together to get out to everybody as soon as we open up for the fall semester, because there's some interesting things that are happening right off the bat as we open up the semester. So, but yeah, it's pretty good. Usually very educational. Our October meeting or events are not around the Cleveland area; they're down towards the Canton area. But pretty interesting things are going to be happening. So we want to get those dates out as quick as we can.
I love the ACF meetings. Just as an aside, Chef Tom's brought me to several of them, and I am not a chef. That is not my background, but they are so educational, and I always learn so much. They're just fascinating. I truly respect the field and the industry of culinary arts and people who are chefs. I think it is such a unique career. So I always enjoy those meetings.
I just wanted to add about the ACF. Going through our program and the culinary track, Chef Tom mentioned the 2992 class, and that is one of our capstone courses. And so all culinary students have to pass that class to get their degree, obviously, but in that class, they test to become a certified culinarian with the ACF. So when you pass that class, you pass that test, you automatically get your ACF certification as a certified culinarian. Why is that important? It's important because it separates you somewhat from just everyone else in that sea of cooks and culinarians. It signifies to someone in the industry that you're very serious about this, that you've taken the time and effort to get certified. And I would encourage you to continue on with that certification because it can become very valuable as you go up the ladder of certification. Chef Tom mentioned the Union Club, which is right down the street on Euclid from the Hospitality Management Center. And there are actually two certified master chefs at that club. We're very, very fortunate. I think there's only, is there even 50 yet, Chef Tom?
There
50?
were 78 and they've reduced down. So I'm not
Certified
sure what the
master
current
chefs.
number is. Yes.
Yeah. So it's less than 100, like considerably less than 100 certified master chefs. It is the top of the pyramid. Again, why is that important to us? Well, because oftentimes those two gentlemen are asked to come and judge the students that are doing their test, their ACF test to graduate from our program. So many times, Chef McFadden has been at the HMC to judge, as well as chefs from all over the industry come into that class to judge. So we have a great synergy with the industry, not just in culinary, but with restaurants and hotels. And that's the other thing that I think adds huge value to our program, is that those people are integrated into our program. They're friends of ours. They are supporters of this program, and they are always looking for, how can we get in touch in front of the students? And we've had them say, oh, do you need help teaching your culinary class? And we all go, no, yeah, okay. You just want to see who's the best in the class so you can recruit them. We know that deal, you know, but that's the way it is. Those are the types of relationships we have with the industry, which is very valuable for our students.
Absolutely. So I did not see any more questions, so I'm going to quickly share my screen. We're just going to maybe 2 more minutes so I can just show you the enrollment steps if you're interested in getting started this fall. Fall term begins on August 30th, so that's about 5 weeks from now, thereabouts. We also have classes starting September 13th, but if you're wanting to start this fall, I'd keep that August 30th as my target date in mind. So let me quickly share my screen. No, that's not working. Let me go back here. Share content, share browser. I don't know if it's gonna let me, because I want to show you. I pulled up. I thought I did. I don't know why I'm having problems here. Well, you know what? That's okay. I will just tell you. Okay, it's really simple, actually, the steps you need to take to enroll. You apply online at try-c.edu. Some of you may have already applied, and that's how you heard about this event tonight. You got my emails about it, and you just were kind of a prospective student and thinking about it. Some of you may be returning students. Whatever you are, if you have not yet applied to the college, you just go to try-c.edu and you click Getting Started. Okay, I just put that in the chat. So you just want to click Getting Started, and that's going to give you a to-do list, an enrollment checklist for whatever it is that your pathway is. So if you are a brand new student, never been to college before, you would be considered a new student. If you're transferring credit from another institution, maybe you went to another college for a semester and you just did like your English and your math and you're transferring that into Tri-C, you're considered a transfer student. And if you've been out of Tri-C, what is it, Alex? Okay, I'm looking here. I was sharing my browser. I don't know, like I brought it up. I don't know why it link that I went to. Maybe I'll go to Chrome real quick. And then I don't know if that, oh, Karen's, thank you. Thank you, thank you. So Dean Manap's going to do it. So just, I would say just click Getting Started. And that's going to give you a checklist of things that you need to do. okay? So you're going to, and it'll tell you what all you need to do, like a to-do list would. So your first step is applying. It is free to, yes, you can take 1 to 2 classes a semester. There's no mandate that you need to take, you know, when you go on our website, you will see that there's the ideal, 15 credits a semester. And that's ideal, right? If you're coming in with no credit or whatever. But a lot of people can't do that. A lot of people have to work. It doesn't make sense for them, or they have family obligations, whatever. You can definitely take 1 to 2 classes a semester. Will it take you longer to complete? Yes. But you can do it if that's all that you can do. You can take 1 to 2 classes a semester. A lot of our students go, and that anything under 11 credit hours is considered part-time. Well, under 12 rather. So 11 to 1 credit hours, it's all considered part-time. So a lot of our students do it that way, and sometimes they go part-time one semester and full-time the next. We always encourage people to go full-time when they can. We encourage students to take certain classes concurrently whenever possible, because it shows typically they do better when they take certain classes together, but we can't mandate that upon you. And we will serve you and help you and teach you however many classes you take. So that's a good question, though. A lot of people bring that up. But this is the screen I was talking about. Whatever student type you are, you would just click on that and it would give you a to-do list. It would give you a guide of the steps to take to enroll. Okay, so as a new student, it's pretty simple. You apply just like I was saying. It's free to apply, shouldn't take you longer than 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, and the great thing with us, it's everyone's accepted at Tri-C. We're open enrollment. So that means everybody gets the opportunity to go to school. People ask me about financial aid. We accept federal financial aid. You would want to complete the FAFSA to receive financial aid. There's different kinds of financial aid. You can get the Pell Grant, which is a free need-based gift of money, and you can get that to differing amounts. You don't got to pay it back, okay? There's work study, okay? That's working while you're in school, and you can use that money however it is you want, but a lot of the students use it to pay for books or fees for different things. There are scholarships. We have a scholarship through the Hospitality Management Center. We actually have several hospitality scholarships here at Tri-C, but we have a brand new one. I believe it's the Small Bites, Big Dreams scholarship is what it's been named. And that scholarship is actually open and active right now. You have until August 13th. I sent that scholarship application out in all my emails. If you need it, please put it in the chat, and you haven't received it yet, I'll be happy to get it to you. But that's a $1,000 scholarship. $500 will be applied to the fall and $500 applied to the spring. But we're giving out a handful of those. So that could be, really helpful when it comes to paying for school. And the scholarships, like grants, don't need to be repaid. Okay. Then, of course, there are loans, which, in the hierarchy of federal aid, that's kind of towards the bottom. We want to exhaust all these other options first. But if you need to take out a loan, you can take out loans. But the key to all of this first is completing a FAFSA. And it's a governmental form is the best way I could put it. They're going to want to know your family's adjusted gross income and how much money is in the family and everything, how much can be expected to be contributed to school. And they figure it out from there. But you'll want to complete a FAFSA. Even if you don't want to get loans or grants and you just want to try to get scholarships, you still need to do a FAFSA. And then lastly, some people pay out of pocket, and that is an option for you too. You totally can pay out of pocket, and you just would pay in thirds, quarters, or fifths of your total. And again, because Tri-C is so affordable, we're currently $119.54 a credit hour. So did somebody want to talk? Okay, but it's very, very affordable, okay? So you apply, you do your FAFSA, you're going to want to make sure you have an official copy of your high school transcript in to us, okay? That's a federal financial aid requirement. If you're going to use any kind of aid, loans, grants, scholarships, work study, etc. If you're going to use any kind of aid, we need an official copy of your high school transcript. And that just means that, or GED transcript, whichever you have. And it just would need to be sent to, and I'll put it in the chat, the registrar's office. And again, that's not a Tri-C rule, that's a federal financial aid rule. Okay, so that's the email address you would want to have that high school transcript sent to. Okay, so you've applied, you've done your FAFSA, official high school transcript sent in. We need to either have your ACT, SAT test scores if you tested at college level, or you can take our placement test. And in some cases, they can use your high school transcript to help place you in the English side of things. And when I talk about testing, I know some people, what I want to say, I know some people kind of get a little nervous when we talk about testing. It's not anything that you can pass or fail. It's just a placement test. And you take it through your My Tri-C Space, which is your student portal. And you'll get access to that after you've applied. But it's very simple. It just lets us know where you're at in your math and your English. And that's what the testing is. Okay, so once you've applied, completed your financial aid, which is your FAFSA, and done any follow-up with that, you got your high school transcript in, and you have your testing completed in English and math, or we have received your ACT, SAT college level scores, then you can attend a new student orientation. And this is where it gets really cool, because brand new this year, hospitality is having their own new student orientations. We have limited spots. There's general orientations you can go to, and there's different ways of doing orientation, but we're really encouraging all of our new returning students, if you need to do an orientation, by all means, please come to our orientation. And you would get access to that by simply emailing me when you have done these other things that I've mentioned. So you've applied, financial aid done, testing in math and English done. Once those are completed, you can contact me and get on the list for our orientation. We're having 2 orientations. We're having one on Friday, August 6th from 1 to 4, and we're having another one on Friday, August 13th, Friday the 13th, but it'll be a good one, from 1 to 4 as well, okay? So if that sounds like, because we do have general orientations here at the college that you can go to, and at orientations where you meet with a counselor, you get assigned your classes, you register for your classes, you get everything situated. It's sort of the final step, and then you're registered, you're an enrolled student. What's different about our orientation is it's specifically going to be geared for hospitality students. We're going to have faculty and staff on hand. We're trying to do a little reception for all of you, and we're going to cover things that are only applicable to hospitality students. If you go to a general orientation, that's fine. Maybe that's the only time that you're free to go, but you aren't going to get all the kind of special things that we're doing and a lot of the good information that we're going to be having. And it's just a good opportunity for you to meet some of your instructors and connect with staff, and also meet your peers ahead of time. So I really encourage you, if that is something you'd like to do when you are ready, when you have completed, essentially it's just 3 steps really: apply, financial aid, and testing. When you've got that knocked out, you can email or call me. I'm pretty much, my name and contact info is plastered everywhere, but I just put my email. If you guys notice, our email addresses all have the same formula. It's our first name, period, last name, @tri-c.edu. But you just email me and I'll make your reservation and get that all situated for you. Okay, we are we're at 7:15, we're over. So I do appreciate everyone's attendance and everyone, what are the dates for orientation? August 6th. Oh, what happened here? August 6th and August 13th. And keep in mind, orientation is if you are not already registered for classes. If you're already registered for classes, you do not need to attend. But the thrust of orientation is that we get you registered in classes, and we do some other things with you as well. So, Anyway, do you have anything else to add, Dean Manath?
I don't have anything else to add. I thank you all for being here. If you have questions, I hope you took down Sarah's email address. My email is karen.manath, same thing, at tri-c.edu. Very simple. But if you have any questions at all, if you need anything, get in touch with us. I think that, not I think, we are very responsive. We are hospitality, and so that's just in our nature to take care of people. So don't be afraid to get in touch with us with whatever questions you have. No question is a stupid question, trust me. We've heard a lot of questions, but there are no stupid questions. You ask what you need to ask to get the information that you need to make the best decision for yourself. We happen to think that this would be the best decision for yourself, but we're not you. So, you know, let us know what you need.
Sarah, you're muted.
Thank you. All right, well, very good. With that, I'm going to end our program. Thank you, everyone, for your attention. Have a beautiful evening, and I hope to hear from you. Night, everybody.
See ya. Good night. Thank you.